Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama and today I am bringing you a ZVP on Antiga Shipyard. This is going to be between the blue Protoss player spawning in the 8 o'clock position, Axel, and down in the bottom 30ish position we do have the red Zerg, Pranayamist. So I'm going to call him Prana because that's a lot easier. Also kind of sounds like one of my mom's friends. But anyways, it looks like Pranayamist going for some sort of 8-pool build. No, just a little bit late on his drone building there. So possibly alt-tabbed out, Skyping, something along those lines. So we're going to be a little bit late on that. And building up to 10 drones and then an overlord. So we'll have to see if he does an extractor trick to make that optimal. Or if he is going to be a tiny bit behind from not getting that 9 overlord into 10 drone, and it looks like yes, he's just going to say I'm not too worried about it, I'm fine. So this is going to be a Masters game, and Axel going to go ahead and start out with that pylon down here at this ramp. So I wonder about this position. It's going to act as part of the wall, so it will be a little bit of a weak spot, but if you throw the pylon back here, you would be able to wall off completely with like Gateway, Cyber Forge, or something along those lines, and have a lot stronger wall, and only have to use this one pylon. Right now, it's going to have this open space that he'll have to use another pylon to block in with. But there is this little area up here, so possibly Axel likes to have this for cannons of some nature. I'm not exactly sure. So you'd have to ask Axel. He is Masters player, so I'm going to trust that he knows what he's doing. And it looks like Axel going to go ahead and go for that Nexus first, as opposed to getting that Forge. So this, of course, is a more economical build. And a lot of players still today throw down that Forge first because they want to be safe, stuff like that. But if you do get this out, get this Nexus, and you are safe, you really shouldn't have any troubles defending, as most Zergs still cannot do very much pressure in that early game, unless they did go for some sort of early pool. But of course, Axel scouted first with his probe there, so he's going to be able to see what exactly is going on. So it looks like Pranayamist is going to go ahead and play a little bit of a mind game there. He builds a hatch at his third, draws the probe over there, and then goes and builds, cancels it and builds a hatch down here at his natural. So that's able to get his hatch out a little bit earlier there. He was able to drop it at about 17 supply instead of the normal 21 supply that you do see. And here we go. The links are going to be out from Prana, and they are going to be charging across the map here, but Axel may not actually have enough minerals to block this. No, he will not, so he's going to have to let these units in right here. This drone and this Zergling are going to get a little bit of scouting information, but it's not going to be enough to really do too much damage. And that hole was caused by going Nexus first, and Prana is able to scout that there was a Nexus first. But of course, since he didn't send 8, 10, 6 lings, whatever it would be, at that point he's not able to really break in there. And oh, we do have a hidden hatch, though, coming down from Prana, so we will have to see if Axel can see this. No, he cannot see it. He is right out of the range of that. As soon as that pops, maybe even gets larger. No, so as soon as that pops, you'll be able to see it, but hopefully he can send a probe or something over there. In the meantime, though, we do have the gas going down. We'll have to see if Prana does go drop a Roach Horn and try and do something tricky with this, as if you do get roaches in your opponent's base, they are in a lot of trouble. Axel, though, already pumping his econ extremely hard. He is up to 25 workers already, over the 20 of our Zerg opponent, and that is what happens right there. If you do drop that Nexus first, is your economy can just pump so much faster than that Zerg's, even if they open with a third hatch right there. He really can get ahead, but it looks like this this hatch is going to go ahead and finish, and Axel not going to be able to see that there. He does scout out with a Zealot here. Did he scout to see if there was a third? I'm not quite sure, but he will run in here, and there's a Queen and a couple links to deal with this. In the meantime, though, this hatchery is finishing up, and there are no cannons or anything to deal with this. There is one Stalker, though, and Prana going to go ahead and start building a Queen off of that and making lings. but he is going to lose this Overlord, which is a very key Overlord right now, as he will be supply blocked off of that. And it does not look like Prana is really doing enough with this hatchery to do much damage. There are some cannons going down, but there are not speed on. There's no speed on these lings, I don't believe. No, so slow lings versus stalkers. There we go. Finally, some roaches being made in production there. So Axel's going to go ahead and pick off these lings. And roaches in the base now, but there will be the photon cannons. And the queen is actually blocking off the roach there for a second. And here we go. Roaches versus the stalkers and cannons. I'm going to go ahead and say that this fight is going to go in Axel's favor there. As roaches versus stalkers, the stalkers can just micro them back and forth. Plus there are 3 cannons in the base. 4 cannons. So the good news about this is Prana was able to force a lot of cannons out of his opponent, but the bad news is he invested a lot of money into everything in this base already. So he's got 300 in there, plus the 5 roaches, all these units right here. So he's really going to have to deal some damage if he wants to get ahead from this, as there's just too much money already invested. These units though about to pop, so Prana going to go ahead and come around with his roaches here, and 10 lings, yes, on the way. A few of them are able to get picked off, and possibly going to be able to pick off this zealot. Yes, he will. So the zealot does go down, but there's too many cannons and stalkers right here that will be able to deal with this. So 6 more roaches in production though. So he's going to be able to pick off one of these cannons, it looks like. Yes, he will. And Axel maybe now in a little bit of trouble, as another inject was able to get off right there. And 6 more roaches are going to pop out of this. So now there is a sizable force right here from Prana. And here we go. He does make his move right now. He's able to pick off 1 zealot, possibly 2 zealots. Yes, 2 zealots. He's going to go ahead and focus down these cannons, it looks like, as they are a lot of DPS. He's going to push in, take out that second cannon. And he should micro away against these zealots. Yes, he is going to get those zealots, and now it is stalker versus zealot. It looks, or stalker versus roach. I'm sorry. And Axel going to be forced to retreat into his probes. Has to pull some probes to deal with this, it looks like. So he will be losing some probes, but he will be able to defend this. In the meantime, though, there is a creep tumor down from our Zerg player in the base. So love to see that, as now Axel cannot build anything over here, and he's just now starting a robotics facility down here, so he's going to have to wait until he does get an observer finally up in the base. In the meantime, Lurtek is going down for Prana right now, so that attack proving to be slightly successful, I want to say, but really he just killed off those cannons and a few zealots, a couple stalkers, and he's still behind, sadly. So, as much as I would like to say it was effective, simply because it's fun and cool to see that, it wasn't effective as it should have been. And now he is going to be a little bit behind. In the meantime, though, Axel looking to gear up for an 8-gate robo. So that says I'm pushing if I've ever seen it before, and Prana knows that he's in trouble right now as he throws up 5 spine crawlers and still has a lot of minerals banked, so maybe he's going to have to throw up a few more. Axel also has this pylon down here for the warp-in, so if you are a Zerg player, always scout at these positions up on those little high grounds right there, as Protoss players love to throw pylons down on those for their warp-ins. So Axel's going to take out these rocks and possibly believe that his opponent already tried to expand for a 3rd, but he did not. Instead, he threw down 2 macro hatches instead, which is probably a smart choice, as he knows he would not be able to deal with any sort of pressure on his 3rd. In the meantime, he's also getting a Spire, Evolution Chamber, Hydralisk Den. Prana is going every tech path you can possibly take right now. So both players gearing up for a huge fight, it appears right now, and they're saying the game is going to be ending pretty soon. Prana, in the meantime, though, does not have many units, if any units at all, to deal with this. What does he have? 1 ling. So Prana, 30 lings in production, but the zealots are going to run in first. There are a decent amount of force fields on those sentries. And here we go. It's going to be slow ling versus zealot, stalker, sentry, and force fields go off in there. Great force fields right there, blocking all of the lings into the base there. And it looks like Axel's just going to be able to walk in and push down this army, and he does get another warp in. Always good to have that forward pylon right there so you can immediately warp in right into the battle, and Prana leaves the game without even a GG. So a little bit of BM there, but well played there by Axel. Nice push into the base. He knew he was ahead after that, as the roaches did not do enough damage. They only took out some cannons, but no key tech was taken out, no gateways, no big units or probes were taken out. So many probes were killed. Four probes were killed. So Axel, knowing he had the lead there, went ahead and did an 8-gate robo push with a +1 attack and almost +1 armor. So very close, but did not finish. So GG, well played. MrLlama out.